Hello, welcome to Joy Newsroom live on your DSTV channel 421, Go TV channel 125. This is Joy Newsroom with me, Mamiesi Nyamiche Thompson. On all social media platforms, we are Joy News TV. Our lead stories this hour: major universities concerned over postponing of admissions and reopening for level 100 students due to delays in the release of WASSCE results. A government's $1 Airtel Tigo takeover sparks debt crisis in the telecom sector as it struggles. Also, the Electoral Commission to rerun parliamentary election in one polling station in Dom Kwabenya to determine final outcome after another failed attempt to complete the coalition process.
69, meaning that if you give that number to the second person, he will overtake the first person. So it means that you have to go and rerun election at that polling station. So that's the decision.
I am Mamiesi Nyamiche Thompson. It's brought to you by Joy News. We're here. We'll be right back with more. The Ghana government's 2021 acquisition of Airtel Tigo for a symbolic $1, along with the agreement to absorb its liabilities, has been described by some industry players as a bold move to protect jobs and ensure service continuity. However, according to the CEO of the Ghana Telecommunications Chamber, Dr. Kenneth Ashigbe, this decision has led to severe challenges. Speaking on PM Express with George Riafi, Dr. Ashigbe revealed that efforts to attract private investors to revive Airtel Tigo has failed. The company's financial instability, particularly its debts to key service providers like tower companies, has disrupted the broader telecommunication ecosystem.
We also have the challenges with lack of regulatory independence, which tends to affect some of the decisions taking within the industry. And so it's really been a challenging one. This is an industry where government has had a plan to dispose of Airtel Tigo 80, but it's been difficult to do that.
A CD or $1?
Well, they bought it for $1,
okay.
And then they've been trying to get some investors to come in. That has not happened.
Help me out for that lay person on the street. The little finance I know, the little accounting I've practiced, I stand to be educated. How come these whole assets were being sold for $1?
So you also then would have to look at the fact that and you accountant, so you have assets but you have liabilities.
Yes, of course.
So what is the level of liabilities that had come with the assets as well?
Okay.
So, as government was buying it, it was buying it, the assets and the liabilities together. And so that's the only reason the owners would say, okay, we're walking away, we're giving this to you, a symbolic gesture of $1, but you have to bear responsibility for the liabilities as well.
Dr. Ashigbe emphasized that Airtel Tigo's mounting liabilities have not only hindered its operations, but also raised concerns about the health and sustainability of Ghana's telecommunications sector. He pointed to the larger issue of regulatory issues, independence, questioning whether the government's role in such interventions undermines market confidence. The situation calls for innovative strategies to manage Airtel Tigo's debt, restore stability, and attract the investments needed to secure the sector's future.
Currently, one of the major challenges for this industry has been the liabilities that AT is carrying. And so if you take the tower companies, for example, AT owes them a lot of money, so much money, and all of those monies are not being paid. And it's putting a lot of pressure on these other tower companies. And it's not for nothing that you would find out that in the past year, none of the tower companies did any new sites, put any sites up. And it's really been very depressing. And some of the challenges that you face is that Now these are debts that are owed by government to these star companies, to several other players. But then the same revenues that the star companies have that are sitting in receivables, the taxman would want to get his VAT on it. The regulator himself, who should be helping these star companies collect this money from government, will now come in and want to take his regulatory fee of 1%. And so it's really been difficult for the tower companies when it comes to government indebtedness, to these.
Away from the telecommunications sector, the West African Examinations Council WAEC remains uncertain if the 2024 West Africa Senior School Certificate Examination results, written months ago, will be ready by Sunday, December 29, which is today. Earlier this week, the Education Minister assured the results will be released by then. However, WAEC is still grappling with financial constraints and malfunctioning machines required to mark objective answer booklets, delaying the process. Already, some universities have been forced to postpone admissions indefinitely and reopening dates for level 100 students due to delays in the release of the results. My colleague Michael Ashali has more on this report.
Major universities across Ghana are likely to encounter delays in admitting fresh students when school reopens next year, January. This is as a result of the uncertainty surrounding the release of the 2024 WASSCE results. The council had initially advertised that the results would be released on December 19, but delays in the payment of outstanding debt owed WAEC by government railroaded the scheduled timeline. Now, WAEC is struggling to complete the marking process, leaving the results in limbo. The University of Cape Coast, initially scheduled freshmen to report in October, has now pushed it to November 23, 2024. Those dates have since passed with no clear timeline for admissions. At the University of Professional Studies, admission and registration of courses should have happened on 16 December 2024, but that has been impacted as well. Management of Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology has indefinitely postponed all activities for freshers, including online registration, orientation, and their January 4, 2025 arrival date. The university states that a new reopening date will only be announced after the WASSCE results are released. Dr. Norris Bakwin is the University Relations Officer for KNUST.
Well, we are as concerned as any other stakeholder, including all other universities, because we have timelines, we have academic calendar. By this time, we're supposed to have issued our admission letters, but because of the lack of or the WAEC's inability to release the results or process the results early, we have had to have an emergency meeting, management meeting to postpone or reschedule the date for reopening for first-year students.
The University of Ghana also scheduled its registration and orientation for first-year students for December 30, 2024. That also hangs in the balance, with WAEC uncertain when the results for the WASSCE will be released. Dr. Gordon Arwandare is the Pro-Vice-Chancellor in charge of academics at the University of Ghana.
We are very concerned because already the academic calendar has been disrupted so many times. So we are really, really worried about it. And we hope that there will be a resolution. And so this is making things worse, actually. So we hope there will be a quick resolution. We'll need about 2 weeks to complete admissions. I mean, within 1 week, some can be done, but for us to cover all the disciplines, it will take about 2 weeks.
The prolonged uncertainty surrounding the release of WASSCE results continues to disrupt the academic calendar, leaving universities in limbo and first-year students waiting anxiously. For Joy News, Michael Ashale.
Well, as at Friday, government has paid an additional 35 million cedis to WAEC, bringing the total amount paid to them to 60 million cedis out of the 118 million cedis owed them. Head of Public Affairs at WAEC, John Kapi, says is still scanning the objective answer sheets and are working to release the results before the year ends.
And then we wrote to the ministry indicating the inadequacy of that amount. We requested a further release of 35 million. So this was issued, a check was released to us on December 25, as Christmas Day, around 6 p.m. thereabouts. So the Director of Finance has had to follow through, and yes, we've been able to get the money into our accounts. And so that is what we requested, and we are confident that this will enable us to carry on with the work that we are supposed to do. Well, we have our own timelines within which we work, and we are looking at hopefully the end of the month. We don't want to be very specific because you are working with machines and anything can happen while you are at work. But we believe that by the end of this month, all things being equal, we should be able to release the results. We hope, well, once we have assured the technicians will be able to pay them, they will be around with us until we are able to finish with the scanning of the objective answer cards. No, we are not done marking them yet. We are still working.
Well, after enduring an abusive relationship for 15 years, Irene Ado opens up about the trauma she faced, losing her self-esteem and confidence. She now stands alongside other women who have overcome depression and various mental health challenges to inspire and empower those still struggling to break free. More in this report by Adobia Asari. At an annual gathering by Emerge New Woman, an organization dedicated to supporting women through mental wellness programs such as psychoeducation, therapeutic interventions, and advisory services, survivors of abuse shared their journeys of resilience. Irene, who narrowly escaped losing her life due to persistent physical abuse, stressed the importance of seeking help during challenging times.
So I was in a relationship, a very toxic relationship. And I had 2 kids out of the relationship. He abuses me verbally, and why shami pay mutintin, and then obrum sukaho. So it was difficult. Sometimes you want to come out of the relationship. You get out, and then he tells you you would come back. I don't know what happened. He so beat me. I fainted. I had my asthma triggered, and I think he realized that either I was going to die or something. He left the house, opened the door, and then opened the gate, and then drove off to let them know that you are not alone. It's okay to be there, and then to always seek help.
Rachel Donko, a reformed drug addict, recounted her struggles with addiction and expressed heartfelt gratitude to Emerge New Woman for guiding her through her transformation.
I thank Emerge New Woman for giving me hope when I have lost hope, for giving me life, that when I gave up on myself, they didn't give up on me. I came here today to thank them for all that. I was an addict. I was an active addict. I was into drugs before I met Emerge New Woman in 2022, and they've really transformed my life. And today, I stand here to testify, and I thank them for giving me such an opportunity that no one can take it away from me.
Feminist and broadcast journalist Ghc35m urged women to forgive themselves for past mistakes and focus on becoming the best versions of themselves.
You've got something, woman. Oh, yes. Be it beauty, be it money, be it a voice, be it whatever it is, use it. God used Rahab the prostitute. He used the woman by the well. She was not really classified as a prostitute, but she was in her own class. Right. She was told that even the man you are with is not your husband. Right. And you know what she did? She ran to town. She was not ashamed. Because what matters most is your next, not your past.
Lady May, the founder of Emerge New Woman, shared her motivation for establishing the initiative, encouraging women to take bold steps forward and refuse to live in self-pity.
Renewed Woman was started after my own experience. When I was going through my challenging times, one thing stood out for me. I realized that there were times you could not share what you're going through. At that times, it felt like you were alone. And so once I emerged out of my situation, I said to myself, no woman should be allowed to struggle by themselves. And that is why I came up with the Renewed Woman. Without action, nothing changes. And so if we want true transformation, if we want to see things move, if we want to release ourselves of entanglement and this feeling of being stuck and so on and so forth, then the only way out is to take action.
This year's theme, Realigned, emphasized the importance of speaking up and seeking support as a pathway to personal growth and empowerment. WASSCE's report read to you. This is Joy Newsroom with me, Mamisi Nyamiche Thompson. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more from the election fallout. Welcome back. Now, the Electoral Commission is set to rerun the parliamentary election at one polling station in Dom-Kwabenya to determine the final results of the December 7 poll there. The outcome of the elections at Abokobi Women Development Center 2 polling station has come under contention as the EC indicated that the results were entered on as on an EC training sheet instead of the designated parliamentary results summary sheet. The situation has led to another suspension of the coalition process at the Greater Accra Regional Centre. James Aveji has more.
The Electoral Commission has yet again suspended the declaration of the final results for Dom-Kwabenya. Now, this is as a result of the Commission and the political parties not being able to take a decision on one outstanding polling station after collating 2 out of the 3 outstanding that were supposed to be looked at. Let's go back to the start of the process where there was disagreement and chaos among the parties as to the exact number of polling stations to be considered.
Nobody ran away. You ran away. You ran away. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. What are you? Sit down. I said sit down.
So according to the NPP's parliamentary candidate, Ero Michael Kwe Jr., he was insisting that the EC should reconsider some 88 outstanding polling stations. According to him, when chaos erupted at the coalition center at Dom-Kwabenya on the day of coalition, the EC was left with 88 polling stations to collate when the NPP had to abandon the process. They went further to collate 85 out of the 88 behind the back of the NPP, leading to the declaration of the NDC's Eliklim Akurugu as winner. And so he was insisting that the parties should agree to collate 88 of the outstanding polling stations. This is the position of the NDC to his suggestion.
I said they choose to read different laws when it suits them. Regulation 48 of CI 127 says that the absence of a party agent or a candidate does not invalidate an action taken by the Electoral Commission. They should go and read. They are confused.
After the long battle and some sort of conclave between the NDC, the NPP, and the EC, they have agreed to go ahead with the 3 polling stations. But one of the polling stations still has a challenge. So it was agreed that it will be step aside and 2 of them, which had no issues, be recollated. And so at the end, Junior had some 50,567 votes, with the NDC's Eliklim Akurugu getting some 50,732 votes with a vote difference of 165. It was agreed that if they add the total voting population of the outstanding third polling station, which is some 669 registered voters, to the result of the second candidate, it would alter the final result. Deputy Commissioner in charge of training at the EC, Dr. Sribo Kwaku, said the elections at the particular polling station in question at Bokobi Women Development Center 2 must be rerun for a final determination of the results.
669, meaning that if you give that number to the second person, he will overtake the first person. So it means that you have to go and rerun election at that polling station. So that's the decision. So we are sending our report to the commission. Then the commission will take a decision on when it should be done. But you are sure that it will be done before they are inaugurated. Yes.
Here's a reaction of both the NDC and the NPP to the position of the EC.
The decision from the commission is that there's going to be a rerun in that polling station, and that's what we are going to do. Everybody who is supposed to be on the register, the New Patriotic Party is going to reach out to them.
No, I'm saying we have won the election. So that means I'm not going to campaign back at the Bokobi station? Campaign, you are talking, I say we have won the election, you are talking. The document will show. Let's come back. We are coming back with it. We'll go and sit down, do the arithmetic for them.
We wait on the EC to fix a particular date for this rerun for a final declaration of who the MP elect for Dom Kwabinya will be. From the EC Coalition Center here in Accra, my name is James Savage reporting for Joy News.
A former Majority Leader Osei Chain Mensah-Bonsu has described the Constitutional Review Commission's work as one that has been a rare opportunity and unique opportunity to implement the much-needed constitutional reforms to improve governance in Ghana. He spoke on News 5.
Because it doesn't have any stake going forward. And nobody would accuse him of having manipulated the system to satisfy himself. So I think he has a very unique opportunity to really take us to where we want to get to improve our governance. To improve our governance, and not only just for that, but to ensure that this constitution becomes development-oriented. Unlike, the first instance, it was to stabilize the administration. And Clara sent us through the various hiccups that we have as a nation suffered. Now we are stable. I think we are plateauing. How do we improve on it?
Do you think that if this chance was missed in John Mahamad's period, we will not see it again?
I'm no octopus Paul, but I don't want to believe in the first place that we are going to miss the boat. I think there's a lot of goodwill, and John cannot afford to miss the occasion, which is why I'm in alignment with what Baka Vomawo has said, that they want to keep the issues on the front burner. I would want to plead, though, that the first 3 months, he is talking about January, but the first 3 months, the president will have to put in place his cabinet. And Parliament, there's not much time. Parliament then will have to work on approving the ministers and so on and so forth. And then the budget will have to be fashioned for the country. So that the first 3 months will be a difficult terrain, a difficult period. But after that, maybe April, May, June, if he wants to do it, I'll really align with it. Except that if it is just to serve as a reminder to him that we want to bring, to build a groundswell of opinion to carry this forward, I may agree with him.
All right.
In terms of the real mobilization, I'll plead with him that perhaps April thereafter will be a much better date.
Private legal practitioner Oliver Baka-Vomawo has expressed concern over the Electoral Commission's approach to managing disputes from the 2024 parliamentary elections. He described the Commission's actions regarding the recollation of contested results as hasty and procedurally flawed. He also spoke on the back of the Supreme Court's decision on Thursday, December 26, to unanimously quash recoalition results for Tema Central, Ablekuma North, Techiman South, and Okankwe Central. He spoke on Newsfile.
The court has been approached on a mandamus application. And the mandamus requires that you make a showing that the Electoral Commission has either failed to collate or is refusing, after a reasonable demand has been made on it or after a reasonable time, to collate. It is surprising to me that in the High Court proceedings, the EC, even though it has not said anywhere that it is refusing to collate, went ahead and did not oppose that point. So when we come back before the High Court, that question is going to arise again, and I think the NEC is going to happen on that, which is that there's nowhere where the EC has said it is refusing or failing to do a statutory duty. And if there's no failure to, and there's no refusal to, then the mandamus does not lie in terms of how law operates. Now, there's a bigger question as well centrally to this, which is the Commission's persistent recourse to placing the judiciary before a fait accompli, which for me is a strategy that seeks to undermine judicial oversight by putting in place what it considers to be reversible outcomes. And I'm speaking here, one, when there was a state of execution, it went ahead to collate those results. And the last week we talked about, we don't understand the rush. A rush which is not only just a rush, but is also offense law and procedure, which is that you cannot disrespect the courts when there's a pending application to stay. You can't take any action. Secondly, and as you have pointed out in the beginning, the fact that the EC participated in the process, filed an affidavit in opposition, and yet went ahead to gazette those results. Again, another attempt to place the court before a fait accompli. This series of actions, for me, is something that we need to look at.
The Ghana National Fire Service has recorded over 100 fire outbreaks in just 1 week, with most cases linked to domestic incidents and bush burning. Speaking to Choi News, the service's public relations officer attributed the surge to the public's non-adherence to fire safety practices. As fire outbreaks spike during the festive season, the service is urging the public to follow key safety guidelines to prevent further incidents, emphasizing domestic vigilance and bushfire prevention. The fire service is advocating for greater adherence to fire safety measures, not just during the holidays, but throughout the year.
Right, so generally during this festive season, it's not surprising that you see a lot of fire outbreaks, mostly even because of the weather. The season has just begun almost. We've celebrated Christmas already, but we're still in the festive season. How was it like so far? Any fire outbreaks?
So the fire outbreaks has been relative. We record highs and lows. So before Christmas was quite crazy. We recorded a bit of 100 fires right before Christmas.
Wow.
Yes, I think 44 fires on Friday, 38 fires on Saturday, and 33 fires on Sunday. Cumulatively, over 100 fires. And so this was just the 3 day, like the weekends before the Christmas.
And all of this happened in Accra, in one region?
No, national, but the leading regions were Accra, Eastern region, and Ashanti regions.
Where are these fires coming from? Domestic, or how have you been collecting this data?
Well, bushfires and domestic fires top the list of fires that were recorded. The domestic fires, obviously, because people still have a nonchalant attitude towards fires. We know that people are traveling to go and visit their families in the villages, and sometimes people forget to put off their appliances at home, and these can also start fires. Also, the fact that whenever there's, people like to do light, come up with different decorations. Some even use candles. And these candles, if not placed right, can start fires. If these candles are placed near combustible materials, it can start fires. Also the fact that during Christmas, children are on vacation. So when children are on vacation and are at home, we see a spike in fires because when it happens like that, kids, parents, especially parents who don't buy toys for their children, these children resort to use matches sometimes to play. And when they light the matches and they see the fire, they get fascinated. You know, they just throw it anywhere, not knowing the risk of where they are throwing these matches to. Also, the fact that these kids can go into kitchen. These kids have very short attention spans. So a kid can probably go to the kitchen, turn on the knobs of these gas cookers and go out. So when you enter the kitchen, you realize that the whole kitchen is filled with gas, which can be very, you know, and so what I would advise people against is that if you enter your kitchen and you realize that you smell a lot of gas in your kitchen, please do not put on the light in your kitchen.
And so these 100 cases that you have recorded, have you had any fatalities? So
fortunately, no. A few injuries here and there, but you know, apart from our mandate goes beyond firefighting, our mandate also extends to accidents. So yes, we recorded some fatalities with accidents in the eastern region. I think 3 people lost their lives, and then 6 people got injured.
Let's go to the responses before we even address the issue of accidents. As you may know, in Ghana, when there's an accident, people are likely to call the police instead of the Ghana Fire Service. And I'm wondering if the Ghana Fire Service has made some more education on that, if people are very much aware of what they have to do when there's an accident or if there is an accident. But generally, the education to the Ghanaian people, do they know what to do at what point in time if there's any kind of fire at all?
So yes, so our education has reaped some fruits because as it stands now, we have what we call fire out on arrival cases. That's the fire that when we're responding to fires, by the time we get there, the fire is already extinguished. We've recorded quite a number of out on arrival cases, which is a very good sign for us that people are learning and listening to what we are teaching them.
Out on arrival means that by the time you arrive, the fire is gone out.
Or maybe on our way there, they would even call that, oh, we've been able to extinguish the fire, so there's no need to come. So we've seen an increase in the out on arrival cases, which means that truly our education on how people can handle fires when they start is reaping some fruits, but then we still have a long way to go with adherence from people taking their fire safety as important as they do with their security.
Okay. What about the accidents, the issue concerning accidents? Have we gotten any better? Are people still calling? Are you receiving more calls in terms of accidents, or the calls are still rerouting to the police?
Well, the people's awareness have been have heightened, which is a good thing. As it stands now, I think people are now gaining grounds and knowing that we've responded. Fortunately, this Christmas we haven't recorded so much here in Accra, but I think in the Eastern region and Ashanti regions, our officers have attended to a few of such accidents. But now people are beginning to know that when there's accident, it's relative. When there's accident and people are trapped in a vehicle. That's when you call on the Ghana National Fire Service. So we come and extricate the people. When people are trapped and we call our brothers the police, they will come and direct traffic.
Right.
And they will still call on us because we have the specialized tools. And in Ghana, as we are, Uniado, people would inadvertently want to go and help rescue people. But you don't know that what you're doing will rather kill the person. Because there are ways, better ways or much safer ways to be able to get people out. Our spine controls everything, and the person is already in pain. Any wrong move can paralyze the person forever. So when our people come and we are working, we see a lot of interferences from people. Now you say, and people start pulling legs, you kill the person. Please, once we are there, leave us to do it right, so that we're able to save lives and make sure that at the end of the day, at least we give people a chance to life.
Is the Ghana National Fire Service resourced enough to, are you ready? Let's assess the readiness of the fire service to fight fire during the season and even beyond. Are you ready? Are you very well resourced?
We are ready. We are resourced, but not very well resourced and resourced. So we are resourced, meaning that we have human resource top notch. We have committed officers who are ready to, at the peril of their lives, do well to save people. Resources, we've always bemoaned the fact that we need much more investments into the Ghana National Fire Service so that we'll be able to serve our mandate much better. Our appliances, we've always said, are old. The government had made a promise that we'll be receiving some fire tenders. We're hoping that it will come early, but looking at the end of the year, I can't tell for now. So we as a service are also not reneging on our commitment to serve people. We've been able to fix a lot of these tenders that were out of commission, you know, to be able to serve the good people of Ghana well. Circle fire tender was out of commission. As I speak to you, it's back in commission. It's been going to fires. Abilimpi was out of commission. We fixed it. It's been going to fires. In Sawum was out of commission for a long while. It's been fixed. Back in commission. Dodowa was out of commission. So when there was fire, Dodowa, the appliance would have to move from Ponka Tamanso or Adenta, but we've now been able to fix that one. So we've done our best to fix them, but that is not a permanent solution because it's just like an old lady who always falls sick. You know, you give her medicine, but she should bounce back and go fall sick again. You know, so just like that, we fix them, but we need new fire tenders. So that will be, and then we also need assemblies coming on board to help the Ghana National Fire Service. The reason I'm bringing the assemblies in, I'm calling them out, is that many assemblies are not prioritizing fires, and it's very worrying.
What does that mean?
So you see, it's the job of the assemblies to set up fire stations so that we would get officers to these stations to be able to work. There are a lot of areas without fire stations. Look at a big area like Dome Kwabinya, the whole of Dome, Taifa, Kwabinya, Ashoman Estates. We don't have a single fire station there. A whole area like East Legon, East Legon Hills, Santor, Ajengano, School Junction. We don't have a single Nyamikrum. We don't have a Nana Krum. We don't have a single fire station there. An area like La Paz, Achimota, Dakuman, Odoko, Kashiman, Sotum, Santa Maria, we don't have a single fire station there.
Let's go through a bit of research, which we definitely sourced from your site as well. So our research desk has been finding that until recently you have about 248 available appliances, but out of that you have about 133 of them faulty. That amounts to about 53.6% of your appliances quite faulty. But where we're even concerned more is the Upper East region. The Upper East region, it says that you have 16 available appliances, but all of them are faulty.
We fixed some of them.
Okay.
We fixed some of them. As I said, again, we need, huge investments need to be directed towards the Ghana National Fire Service. Because for about 15 years, if I'm not mistaken, we've not received a single fire tender.
So it's in 16 years, the old fire tenders are what you've been using and you've been repairing them and all.
And they go. And you see, the thing is that people then ask, so why are you not fixing them? Or why? You see, it goes beyond that because these fire tenders are custom made. They are custom made. So you send your specification to the supplier and then they deliver based on the specification.
All right.
So if something goes wrong, it's not like you can just go to Abosio Kai or go to Kokompi or go anywhere to just go and buy the parts and replace it. You have to, because it's custom made, you have to now contact the suppliers for them to again give you that part that is faulty. It has to go through tendering, it has to go through all those processes before it is replaced. So
the OT region also, what about the OT region as well? You've got about 8 and still all of those 8 are still also faulty. What about that as well? At least have you fixed some of them? So you say that most of the regions
yes, I think about 70% of the tenders have been fixed.
Okay.
As I speak right now. But then again, I won't deny the fact that a lot more are also still faulty. I won't deny the fact that there are lots more still faulty.
Well, we're in the festive season. The Hamatan, the weather is still very dry. Have you been sharing some tips that people can at least adhere to so we can reduce the fire outbreaks?
Yes, our fire safety task force have been doing a good job by going around with education. Personally, our PR department have also been doing a lot of safety education. We are on TV almost every day, trying to let people understand the risk of fires and how best they can stay safe from fires. So we've been educating people, but again, you see, it's a two-way street. We will do our part, but if the people who are supposed to listen, or the people who are supposed to adhere to what we are saying are not doing their part, then it's as if we keep hitting a block. So until people listen and learn, it will always be like a one-way communication. So it's about the people also. That's how come I would even go back again to the assemblies, because as I'm here, I'm worried about the fact that many areas don't have fire stations.
And you had that interview there with my colleague Emefa Adeti in an interview with AD01 Alex Kinati, Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Fire Service. That takes us on a break. We'll be right back with international news. Let's do showbiz. Ghanaian rap sensation Kwesi Arthur made a highly anticipated return to the stage with an unforgettable performance at the Jamestown Coffee Company in Accra during his exclusive concert, Kwesi Arthur Unplugged.
The wait is over. Kwesi Arthur is back and he's better than ever. The talented rapper treated his die-hard fans to an exclusive intimate performance at his event dubbed Kwesi Arthur Unplugged at the Jamestown Coffee Company in Accra. The energy was electric and Kwesi Arthur did not disappoint, delivering a memorable set that left fans craving for more. The crowd went wild, singing along to every word. Fans were excited to see Kwesi Arthur perform again, having felt deprived of his music for far too long.
I see as people they talk say Kwesi Arthur left the bab, and this is a real definition of he never left.
It was surprising. It was really surprising. Great.
For me, it was amazing because I've been waiting for this moment for a very long time.
Everything was good. I really felt his stage craft. Everything was very good. Everything was on point, excellent. I really felt him. I've never felt him like this before. I really felt him. I was so much happy.
An appreciative Kwesi Arthur thanked his fans, promising even more thrilling experiences and surprises in 2025.
It was amazing, it was amazing. It's been a while I have done something like this. And then pulling up on me on such short notice, I'm very thankful. 2025, I'm looking to, drop more music, connect with my fans more through events like this, even bigger ones. Yeah, so I want to say thank you to everyone who's been supporting me from the start.
Nicholas Ekoyamo's report for Joy News.
And that'll be all for this bulletin. I am Amisi Nyamiche Thompson. I said earlier, Samson Ladia Nyanini and Mama Vi Uswabwaje are up next on The Law with the Transition 101.